Hey everybody, how's it going? As you can see, we've got monster buffs incoming, and there is a good amount of buffs incoming. So we're gonna go over them real quick, but one thing I'd like to note is that I'm only gonna go over the 6-star monsters that have been buffed. There are plenty of 5-star monsters that have been buffed, so that it will help if you farm them. They just might have some solid use cases. So hopefully you didn't sell them all, but I digress. I'm gonna go over the list here. This entire list is on the wiki page set up by SF and the other guys. So SF was very diligent in getting them up really quick last night. We double checked each other's work, and I think it looks like everything's correct now. So hopefully you won't see any mistakes here or there. But make sure you do check it out. There should be a link in the comment section area or description area below this video. Now, in my Excel sheet, I've got some color coded changes. If you see it in blue, that means they were upgraded from their initial ability. If you see it in red, that means it's a brand new ability, and anything in green means they've been moved from the gauge to the main ability. And that's pretty big because that does have implications in terms of strike shot, other people command strike shot usage, as well as their bump combos. So we'll see what kind of surprises we have there. And of course, there are some sad news here, especially for the first one to start off with, because if you see them on this list, they're probably not going to get transcended anytime soon. So we'll save the tears. I've already shed enough with Lorelei from the last time, but we'll make do. Alright, first off, we've got Independence, the oldest monster on the list. So I was actually holding out. That's why I was really excited for Transcension. But at least for Evil form, she only had Fiend Mao Slayer L. That gets upgraded to EL. And in addition, she gets some Mancer Slayer in there, which are the Majin types. So she becomes a super slaying proficientist there. In addition, her bump combo gets upgraded to the Homing Destruction 8, and I believe that's the same level as Lorelei minus the piercing aspect. So pretty nice buff there. But for Ascended form, looks like the Ascended form actually has some usage now, because previously seemed wasteful. But her Slayer turns into a counter Slayer, and that is on her main, so that means her bump combo will take advantage of that ability. And on her gauge, she gets an additional inner strength ability, and that's the Sokojikara. I believe Kate Sith was the one that had that. And basically, if your team HP is under 30%, I believe, that'll allow that monster to power up and do a little bit more damage than usual. Actually, a good amount of damage more than usual. And they get this red glow around them, so it looks pretty cool. There are also some general updates. Her bump combo gets completely changed from a rebound laser to a bomb spread, which is that Beethoven bump combo. Pretty cool. And the SS strike shot gets changed from just a single laser in the direction you pointed at to every time you bump off of a monster, you'll fire off a laser towards their midpoint. Kind of like what Plum had. So definitely a big upgrade for Ascended Independence. Here's another monster that might be get some disappointments from others, that they're getting a buff instead of Transcension, and that's Yggdrasil here. Yeah, I mean, she is also a really old monster. She's in the 500s, so I'm sure a lot of people are holding out for a Transcension, but here's the updates. Minesweeper turns into Minesweeper L, and that null damage wall moves to the main ability. And in addition, that Blast Explosion bump combo gets upgraded one level to the Blast Destruction, and the Strike Shot actually gets upgraded from just a lightning attack to all monsters that you touch to a Poison Meteor. So just a little bit more alpha damage in case it wasn't enough to clear them out. And of course, since she's so old, an HP and attack boost is in the lines for her. Ascended form of Yggdrasil gets a null wind attached to the null damage wall. So, I mean, either form now, we've got that null damage wall on the main ability, so you really don't have to worry about any gauges for Yggdrasil anymore. Bump combo gets changed completely again. kind of like Independence's Ascension. The Giga Blast turns into a Tribe Pulse, and that's the one where you get fire an energy ball to the closest enemy, and then all other enemies of the same class will get affected as well. And the sub bomb combo retains the blast type bomb combo, so that you can still activate other people's bomb combos with Yggdrasil. So that's cool. And her strike shot gets increased a little bit faster from 30 to 24 turns, and a stat boost in the attack column. And next up is one of the drop monsters, and that is Slash and Slash X. Slash X is the fire version of Slash, who is normally dark, and the only change for him is that the one-way laser EL turns into a lock-on one-way laser. So that is pretty intense for a drop monster, and we'll see how maybe people are gonna start farming Slash now. Who knows? Next up is Uesugi Kenshin. We got this Water Slayer. In the start of the game, in the game it's a she, right? Yeah, I think Uesugi is a she in Monster Strike. That Ascended form, that Fire Slayer, was really amazing to use. I remember that, but of course time has gone on, and she's lost her way. So the buffs for the evil form, we get an additional null gravity barrier added to the main ability, so that's a solid null ability to have. And her bomb combo upgrades from X Laser L to the EL version of it, so just a little bit more power and what area it'll cover with that awesome blue laser. Ascended form, the Fire Slayer moves up to the main ability, so that has really good bomb combo implications, because Uesugi Kenshin has now has the twin vertical laser upgrade from the standard vertical laser, so even more chances to do more damage, since it'll now have Fire Slayer on top of that bomb combo. Gilgamesh, still had some use in the Kushinada family of quests, early ones, but to make it even more tantalizing, the Demi-Hume Slayer Ajin upgrades from M to L, and the bomb combo gets notched up by 1 to the Pierstruction version of that. Ascended form, the Null Warp turns into Super Null Warp, and Super Null Warp, the more warps on the stage, the more damage he will do. And the upgrade for the bump combo on the Ascended form is turning that short spread shot into a poison short spread shot. So a nice plus alpha change there. Princess Iron Fan, as you can see, her Evo and Ascended were basically mirror images of each other, and basically the buff here is whatever Slayer, the lesser Slayer, the Slayer M that they had, would also get a resist on top of that. So Evo gets an Ethereal resist on top of the Slayer M against Ethereal types, while the Demon Slayer still is on L. And Ascended, flip those around. Demon is the resist plus M Slayer, and Ethereal is the L Slayer. And the difference in the bump combo, they both change from a cross laser L to the rebound X laser L. So I think that's Verdandi, something like that. Billy the Kid, that's a familiar name. If we have seen Billy the Kid. Oops, I did not think I had that up there. All right, well, hopefully you saw. Let me put Princess Iron Fan there. Billy the Kid, he was buffed before, I think, so he's back again, and he basically gets a null wind on both forms on his main form. So Billy the Kid is now a triple null monster. So maybe finally we'll see some use out of Billy the Kid. The Ascended form also gets an HP boost there. Zoro gets a cool upgrade as well. In both forms, that null gravity barrier on the gauge turns into super null gravity barrier, which means the first gravity barrier you hit will cause a speed up. And on the Ascended form only, gets an additional null block added. So pretty cool there. Evo form looks like gets a Pierstruction spread shot upgrade from just the spread destruction attack. And hey there, look at that. So we'll see how much the bump combo changes in terms of power, because Zoro Evil Form is now going to be a blast type. Alright, now we get some Transcension buffs. First is we got Agnamut. And of course Agnamut, it seems a little bit underpowered. Maybe people are hoping for a Transcension, but I don't know if that was really going to happen. We'll see. Well, it's not going to happen now. The biggest change is the bump combo. It goes from a standard homing 18 to homing devastation 6. And they did say on stream that this was on par to what Odin has. So it should be a really nice boost in damage there to actually be something useful, to be honest. And the other difference that the strike shot gets upgraded by 4 turns, so you can do it by a little bit faster. It should now happen at 20 turns rather than 24 turns. And in addition, an attack boost to Agnamut's stats. The other Transcension update that they did not announce on the YouTube channel was Hunter King. And Hunter King gets a pretty sizable update because now he will earn water resistance on top of his main ability, so you can use him for even more water quests. But I think the big change here is that his bump combos get upgraded in both versions. The one-way laser is now a vertical laser EL, so now you don't have to worry about Hunter King being on the bottom of the bottom of the stage. You can have him on the top now, and then that vertical laser will be able to do damage. So that is pretty awesome. In addition, his poison attack is a spread destruction, so that means just so much more power into that. We'll see how much more once the update happens. It is a sub bomb combo, so maybe not that big of a change. And last but not least, HP boost, which he definitely needs. Next up we have Gennai. Gennai has some use in Avalon, so looks like he'll get a little bit more useful because I think it's the Ascended form you want. Maybe. But Evil form, the null warp gets upgraded to super null warp, and for the Ascended form he gets an additional weak point slayer. That is pretty awesome. And bump combos are changed a lot. For the Evil form, we got the upgrade from L to EL for the vertical laser. Ascended form, instead of going to the EL, it turns into a twin vertical laser. And the Horizon laser turns into a twin horizon. So Ascended form of Gennai is now a twin beast. And okay, definitely the Ascended form was for Avalon, because now before, basically whatever monster you touched would get that ice meteor attack. Now that ice meteor damage will scale based on the amount of monsters you hit. So I don't know if that's going to make it easier or harder for Avalon. Maybe easier, because then you might have a chance to guarantee to take out that Legion at the bottom. So maybe. I'm just talking out of my head, off the top of my head, so I don't know if that's necessarily gonna be the case or not. But next up, let's look at Phantom. Phantom gets Null Wind added to both sides on the main ability, so Evo gets Resist plus Null Wind and Null Warp on the gauge, where on the Ascended, Warp and Wind are now on the main ability. And for both forms, HP up is going to be given to Phantom. I don't know if that's going to make him be used a little more, but maybe they're going to go crazy with Null Wind in the upcoming meta, so maybe Null Wind will become more and more useful. Signal Man, another one of those, it's the traffic light dude. Looks like a simple upgrade and bump combo from one way to lock on one way. Looks like, they want to give people a chance to have those powerful bump combos, even though if they're farmables. Alright, next up is Origami. Origami, that the first quest that had individual HP bars. That Recovery S is upgraded to just a standard recovery, so you'll be able to do more healing And you know, it was always on the main, so you didn't have to worry about that crazy gauge, which is nice. But in addition, null wind gets added to Origami's repertoire, so double null for Origami now, so maybe we'll see some use out of her. And attack up, pretty cool. Zeami is a drop monster as well, as is Origami. Basically gets wood resist added to the main ability, so double nulls, wind and warp, and resist. And looks like the ascended only gets an attack up. I wonder if I missed anything there. I don't know. We should be nearing the end, but we've got Hamelin up next, and he is a transcendent monster. And basically the bump combo gets upgraded one level from Giga Blast to Blast Destruction, and the strike shot attack power goes up. And in addition, the first turn strike shot gets a little bit faster. The second turn stays the same, so instead of 12 turns and 16 turns, it'll be now 8 and 16 turns for the power for the strike shot being able to use. And again, this is one thing we're gonna want to see in the difference in bump combo, because the type change goes from balanced to blast. All right. We are now in the 2000s, so these are much more recent monsters. Nazca gets no wind added to both forms. Oops, looks like I lost some of the bowling there, but other than that, no. That's the wait. Yeah. Okay, I remember that right. Nazca will only get null wind added. Again, that, you know, seeing all these null winds being added is making me think that we might be in for a wind meta. I wonder how that will work, but we'll see. Next up, we've got Wenzong. You know, one thing about the, you know, Three Kingdom characters that I honestly don't know what the English name is compared to the Japanese name, so I did put the Japanese name there, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm sorry. Anyways, the difference here is that we've got the boost in Slayer levels, so the Evo form goes from a Slayer M to L, and Ascended form on the gauge goes from a standard Slayer to standard M for Etherean or Genju types. Looks like that's it for Wenzong. So next up is Gabolg, which is Kuchulane's, was it spear? Lance? I don't know what it is, but I do have Gabolg, and looks like gets a pretty nice update here because the null warp gets increased to super null warp. Evo form, it's on the main. Ascended, it's on the gauge, but the other abilities stay the same there. The slashy attack for Gabolg also gets upgraded to the destruction level, and some stat updates in general for it. Right, it's a weapon. Next up, we got Honda Tadakatsu. That's that like metal looking dude. On the Evo form, we get null warp added to keep it in line with the Ascension form, which now also gets null wind. So Honda Tadakatsu gets upgraded to a double null monster. Looks like we got some homing enhancements for the Evo form, but that's it for the Ascended. And we're in for the last 3 in terms of the 5-star, 6-star monsters. First up, we got Doom. Doom is, you know, he's an impossible monster, right? But the only difference for Doom here is that his strike shot gets powered up, and this one I remember the strike shot for Doom is basically shoots off a flare every time you run into an enemy. So we'll have to see how much of a upgrade it is, because I mean this line is really lonely, but yeah, we'll see on Tuesday. Next up is Homumi, another drop. That one-way laser EL turns into a twin one-way laser EL, so get to see some more laser damage there. And the and this will be super helpful. The luck skill changes from shield to the bump combo critical. So I mean, twin one-way lasers, you're already getting double the lasers. Now you can get even more attack power out of that. pretty cool. And last but not least, I'm stoked for this. Kagutsuchi gets an upgrade. The null gravity barrier on the gauge turns into super null gravity barrier and also gets inner strength. So that is pretty awesome for Kagutsuchi, and in addition some HP and attack boosts for him. But yeah, I mean that is a good amount of buffs, and like I said, this is only the 5-6-star monsters. There are plenty of 4 or 5-star monsters that got upgraded, and hopefully you did not throw away your dud monsters from the hatcher, because these 5 stars are going to have a lot of, you know, very focused utility, I feel like. So we might actually see some good use out of them. It's pretty interesting. But like I said, the only downside to seeing these monsters on the list is probably no Transcensions for them anytime soon. So those of you who are fans of Independence, Yggdrasil, I'm sure Kenshin had a lot of fans. Who else? Well, I guess those older ones were probably everyone's, you know, had some hopes for them. So seeing them on here is a little bit of a bummer, but hopefully we will see them have some fresh usages in the near future. But yeah, video ran a little long. I think my voice is about to give out, so I'm gonna call it a day for now. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, gripes, excitements, anything. I'll join you in your state of mind. All right, so that's it for today, and until next time, bye bye.